Picture this, 1975. The Cold War is raging. On one side, the United States, a global military titan. On the other, the People's Republic of China, with the largest army on Earth, but technologically decades behind. Now fast forward 50 years to today. The dragon has awakened. How did this happen? How did a force reliant on sheer numbers transform into a high-tech powerhouse challenging American dominance? This is the story of one of the most dramatic military shifts in modern history. Let's rewind to 1975. The US Army had about 1.9 million to 2 million active duty soldiers. Now, let's look at China in 1975. The People's Liberation Army, or PLA, was colossal, with about 3.5 million active ground troops. It was a sea of soldiers, but their equipment told a different story. Their main battle tank was the Type 59, essentially a copy of the Soviet T-54 from the 1950s. They had thousands of them, but they were no match for a modern Western tank. Their air force, the PLAAF, flew about 4,000 to 4,500 jets, but they were mostly reverse-engineered Soviet designs from the Korean War era, like the MiG-17 and MiG-19, known in China as the J-5 and J-6. Their navy was a coastal defense force, with no aircraft carriers and very limited ability to operate far from home. In short, China had a massive force, but it was technologically inferior in almost every aspect. Quantity had a quality all its own, but it was a quality best suited for a land war on its own borders. So what changed? Everything. Starting in the 1980s, under Deng Xiaoping's reforms, China's economy began to explode. And with economic power came military ambition. China didn't just want a big army, they wanted a modern one. This began a slow, deliberate process of transformation. They started by professionalizing their force, cutting down the sheer number of ground troops while improving training and conditions for those who remained. Let's jump to the year 2000. The US military, fresh from its decisive victory in the Gulf War, was the undisputed hyperpower. It was fielding stealth aircraft like the F-117 and the B-2 bomber. The M1 Abrams tank, with its advanced armor and targeting systems, had proven itself the king of the battlefield. The US Navy's carrier groups could strike anywhere on the planet with impunity. The digital revolution had transformed the US military into a networked force, a concept they called network-centric warfare. Meanwhile, China was catching up, and fast. By 2000, their ground forces had been reduced to around 2.5 million, but they were better equipped. They had introduced the Type 96 and the more advanced Type 99 tanks. While still not quite on par with the latest Abrams, they were a massive leap forward from the old Type 59s. Their air force was finally retiring its ancient jets and acquiring more capable Russian aircraft like the Su-27, while also developing its own modern fighter, the J-10. The Chinese Navy was also expanding. They were building more modern destroyers and frigates, signaling a shift from a coastal force to a blue water navy capable of operating in the open ocean. The gap was still huge, but the trajectory was clear. China was no longer just copying. It was innovating. Now let's arrive at the present day and look towards 2025. The numbers tell a fascinating story. The US Army has around 485,000 active duty soldiers, supported by about 2,500 M1 Abrams tanks and about 2,500 in reserve. It's a smaller, more lethal, and highly expeditionary force. The US Air Force boasts the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Lightning II, fifth-generation stealth fighters that provide an incredible technological edge. The US Navy operates 11 supercarriers, more than the rest of the world combined. And China? The PLA ground forces now number around 975,000 active personnel, almost double the US. They operate around 5,000 modern main battle tanks, including the advanced Type 99A, which some analysts consider a peer to the M1 Abrams. The real shock comes when you look at their Navy. In 20 years, the PLA Navy, has grown from a modest force to the largest navy in the world by ship count, with over 350 ships including 3 aircraft carriers. Their third carrier, the Fujian, features an electromagnetic catapult system, a technology previously unique to the latest US carriers. The PLAAF, the Chinese Air Force, now operates its own 5th-generation stealth fighter, the J-20 in significant numbers. They've also developed a vast arsenal of long-range precision missiles, creating what military planners call an anti-access area denial bubble, designed to keep U.S. forces, particularly aircraft carriers, at a distance from the Chinese mainland. This brings us to the ultimate question of military power: nuclear weapons. In 1975, the U.S. had a massive nuclear advantage with over 25,000 warheads in its arsenal. China's arsenal was small, estimated at around 150 to 200 warheads, primarily for regional deterrence. Today, following decades of arms control treaties, the U.S. maintains around 1,400 deployed strategic nuclear warheads. China's arsenal, while still smaller, has been rapidly modernizing and expanding. The Pentagon now estimates China could have over 1,000 operational nuclear warheads by 2030. They are also developing a nuclear triad: the ability to launch nuclear weapons from land-based missiles, submarines, and strategic bombers, a capability long held by the US and Russia. The era of overwhelming American nuclear superiority is over, replaced by a more complex, multipolar nuclear world. So what does this all mean? The United States still fields the most powerful, experienced, and technologically advanced military in the world. Its global network of alliances and forward-deployed forces gives it a reach that China cannot yet match. However, the gap has closed dramatically. China has transformed itself from a regional power with a large but outdated military into a global superpower with a modern, high-tech force capable of challenging the US, especially in its own backyard, the Indo-Pacific. From a 4 million-man army with 1950s-era tanks to a force with stealth fighters, advanced warships, and a rapidly growing nuclear arsenal, the PLA's 50-year transformation is nothing short of breathtaking. It is a shift that has redefined global power dynamics and will shape the course of the 21st century. The story isn't just about numbers of tanks or ships. It's about the rise of a nation and the changing of the guard. And in this new era, the most crucial battles may not be fought with weapons at all. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey through military history fascinating, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you next time.